Age is a state of mind, it's an attitude. The distinguished philosopher, Dr. Satchel Paige, who also played a little baseball, once summed this up with a question. He said, "How old would you be if you didn't know how old you was?" Well, now you think about that. I've already made my decision. I've been 39 for the last 34 years.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and welcome to this month's Live From at the Reagan Library. Remember, we do these on the first Wednesday of every month. We want to remind you, we do want to engage with you, so whether you're watching live right now on Facebook or on YouTube, please go to the comment section, put in your name, tell us where you're watching from so I can say hi and give you a shout out, or put in a question about what we're talking about today or something about the Reagan Library. I'm going to be going to these screens throughout the entire Live From, so don't be shy, go now, let us say hi to you. But I'm coming to you today because yesterday was the 113th anniversary of the birth of President Reagan, or as he would have jokingly called it, the 74th anniversary of his 39th birthday. As such, we're going to spend today's Live From talking about what we do here at the Reagan Library for President Reagan's birthday and share with you some video clips of some of our favorite memories from prior years. Now, of course, on February 6th, we're here to honor the life and legacy of President Reagan. But here at the Reagan Library, we honor him every day. We honor his steadfast belief that limited government is a safeguard for liberty, that every individual around the world has the God-given birthright for freedom, and that America's greatness is derived from the goodness of its people. But of course, on February 6th, we specifically highlight Ronald Reagan and his legacy. Since his passing on June 5th of 2004, the Reagan Library works with the United States Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton to hold a birthday celebration to commemorate Ronald Reagan every year, as I said. The day includes things like a flyover, a 21-gun salute, an honor guard, an official laying of a White House wreath on President Reagan's gravesite, and of course, keynote remarks. Past speakers for the keynote remarks have been everyone from Secretary James Baker and Secretary William Bennett to Ed Meese to Senator Elizabeth Dole. We've had his speechwriter like Peggy Noonan. We've had a military aide like Steve Cheelander. We even had newscaster Sam Donaldson. Last year, we were fortunate enough to have Dr. Henry Kissinger. And just yesterday, for the 113th birthday, we had Lech Walesa, the former president of Poland, a man who, like Ronald Reagan, shared in the belief that securing and preserving human rights, freedom, and democracy around the world is critically important. So let's now look at some of our past events. And we're going to start with actually one of my favorites, and that was Ronald Reagan's 107th birthday, which is February 6, 2018. And keynote remarks were done by Secretary James Baker. Let's listen.
Reagan family members, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I miss Ronald Reagan. I miss that engaging smile that infected Americans with his generous nature and the optimistic belief that each of us can make the best of ourselves if we only dare to dream of a better future. I miss his dynamic blue eyes, the ones that twinkled when he saw the good in a tough situation or a cantankerous adversary, but that could also turn very steely, as they did when he stared down striking traffic air controllers. I missed the ramrod erect stature of a man who stood tall in the face of wrong, like he did at Berlin's Brandenburg Gate when he said, "General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Even as he battled darker forces in the world, he remained touched by what Abraham Lincoln once described as the better angels of our nature. To his ear, the mystic chords of memory were the unifying verses that Americans have sung about freedom and prosperity since the founding of this great land. And so as time goes by, as our national discourse grows more coarse and more crude, as increasingly harsh winds blow across the globe, and it seems that our leaders either won't or can't do the people's work at home, I miss him even more.
So I'm quickly going to go to the screens. I want to remind you, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please go into that comment box. Let us know you're watching so I can say hi. On YouTube, I do see that Rebecca White is watching from New York. Thank you, Rebecca. We have Robbie from Oklahoma. Very cool. Jennifer, we missed the president too so much. Neil from St. Louis, Missouri. It's fabulous. Robert, I loved my country so much when President Reagan was president. Absolutely. So thank you all for watching. Again, please go to that comment section. I'm going to be going to those boxes on Facebook and YouTube throughout the entire broadcast. So please keep adding in your comments. I see someone on Facebook just added, sorry if I don't pronounce your name right, is it Sharrock from San Jose? Thank you guys for watching. We really do appreciate it. So now we're going to go back to some more of our favorite memories. And for Ronald Reagan's 99th birthday, back in February 6, 2010, our keynote speaker was Senator Elizabeth Dole. So let's watch her remarks.
You know, it's strange to contemplate that Americans now in college have no living memory of President Ronald Reagan. For me and for many of my colleagues in the audience, that memory is as vivid as yesterday. As John said, he gave me the honor of serving as the first female Secretary of Transportation. But more than that, he gave me the image, the model of all that a leader could be. He was determined and kind in that very American combination. He had a spine of steel and a heart of gold, and we loved him for both. On the only occasion that I can recall when I was frustrated that the president overruled me on one of my pet projects, you know, he was apologetic. I mean, he was concerned about my feelings. I can still see him as he said, "Oh, Elizabeth, I'm so sorry." You know, he didn't change his mind, but he sure won my heart. Ronald Reagan was many things: activist, leader, president. But I'll always remember him for a characteristic our country needs a bit more of today. Ronald Reagan was a gentleman.
I want to thank Samson for watching on YouTube. Again, please let us know you're watching. Put in your name and where you're watching from on YouTube or Facebook so I can say hello, or feel free to ask any questions. So now we're going to go back to February 6th, 2014, which would have been President Reagan's 103rd birthday. And for that event, we listened to keynote remarks from President Reagan's Secretary of Education, William Bennett. Let's listen to those remarks.
Thank you, too, Mr. President, for creating for us an ideal of the way the presidency should be carried on and how it should be worn with a jacket on in the office. Your manner sprang from the fact that even though you were president, you were always yourself. You never had to prove anything. Happy birthday, Mr. President. God bless you, Mr. President. Rest in peace, Mr. President. Thank you.
I see Alexis Giller from San Francisco, my daughter. Thanks for tuning in. I always appreciate when family members tune in as well. So now let's go to February 6, 2022, which would have been President Reagan's 111th birthday. And President Reagan's speechwriter, his friend, and now currently our board member, Peggy Noonan, gave remarks. Let's listen to that one.
Wasn't it good to know him? To know a great man who was also a good man, and to remember how much he loved America. Let's bring that forward, shall we? Thank you. It's an honor today to honor my old friend.
It's a family affair. Now my other daughter Savannah's watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Come on, people, don't be shy. Let us know where you're watching from. Put in your name and where you're watching or a question. I will keep going to those throughout the episode. I really do appreciate it, and I like saying hi to you all. Now we're going to go back to February 6th of 2017. It was the first time we didn't have someone who worked specifically for Ronald Reagan, but instead someone that sometimes got along with President Reagan, sometimes got under his skin. It was a really fun event. We brought in newscaster Sam Donaldson. Let's watch.
Who was Ronald Reagan? Well, in my view, he was a Hollywood original. as my friend Lou Cannon said in the title of one of his books on Reagan, played the role of a lifetime, using his skill as an actor-communicator to connect with the people of this country and to persuade them to follow his lead. He had convictions and he acted on them. Someone would say, well, he's marching off a cliff. And someone else would say, yes, but he knows where he's going and I'm going to fall in right behind him. And you don't have to agree with everything that he tried to do or with his nonchalant work ethic to acknowledge that he got a lot done. And on the whole, he left the country and the world better off for having been there.
So let's go back to the screens again. I see David Irwin from Canada. That's super cool. And Heidi, I'm not sure where you're from, but we sure do miss him as well. Samson, do you advise me on Ronald Reagan books? We're going to talk about one in just a minute, but you just watched a second ago or two a excerpt from Peggy Noonan. She wrote an incredible book called When Character Was King about Ronald Reagan, and we probably recommend that one as the #1 book to read. Another one is Ronald Reagan's autobiography, An American Life, which we're going to talk about shortly as well. I see Nana on Facebook. Ronald Reagan will be remembered for his kindness and the love he showed to foreigners. Absolutely. Magnus from Sweden. That's incredible. Thank you so much for watching, Magnus. We really do appreciate it. And I see Logical Spock on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching. It means so much to us. So we started this live from the first memory we went back to was Secretary James Baker back from 2018. And personally, for me, we've had some incredible speeches and keynote remarks here throughout the years, but James Baker's is one of my favorite. So we started this by sharing the opening part of his remarks, and I want to make the last video we showed today the conclusion of his remarks. So let's go back to Secretary Baker one more time.
We're here today, ladies and gentlemen, to celebrate his 170th birthday. The 170th birthday of a beautiful human being and one of the greatest American presidents of all time. He made our country stronger. He made our country more prosperous. And he made the world a safer place. Like each of us here today, I know I miss him, and I miss him deeply. I miss his confident optimism in the enduring quality of the American spirit. I miss his wise understanding of our nation's place in the world. I miss his immense dignity that he brought to the office of the presidency. And most of all, ladies and gentlemen, I miss his ability to get things done. I can see him in my mind's eye today as if he were right here with us. He's jovially cocking his head a bit with those brilliant blue eyes flashing and that genial smile on his kind face. He'd tell us to keep our focus on building that shining city on a hill. He would remind us, like he did in the past when he said, there are no constraints on the human mind. There are no walls around the human spirit, no barriers to our progress, except those that we erect ourselves. And he would encourage us to dream heroic dreams once again. Then he would take Nancy's hand in his, like he did so many times before, and he would look lovingly into her eyes. Life is one grand, sweet song, he would tell her. So start the music. Happy birthday, Mr. President. We miss you.
Hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed those remarks as much as I did. I'm going to go back to the screens really quick. Butter's mom, happy heavenly birthday, President Reagan. What a beautiful way to say it. Even with my glasses, my eyes aren't good enough. That might be Alicia Jones. President Reagan will be remembered for his leadership in ending the Cold War and bringing down the Berlin Wall. Rawhide Down, interesting read. That's a great suggestion by someone watching on YouTube if you're looking for a book. Rawhide Down is about the assassination attempt on President Reagan. You know, here at the Reagan Library, we learned so much about that time. And even knowing what I knew, that book was eye-opening and all the new information I learned. So I really do recommend it. Great book suggestion. And then to Savannah, I can't wear that dress because the lav mic doesn't attach to it. A little inside joke we have going. So now I want to share with you all some of the items from our store that we thought might be fitting to talk about during our birthday broadcast, I do want to remind you, all you have to do is go to reaganlibrary.com/store. All these items are there, as well as hundreds and hundreds of others. The ones I'm specifically talking about today, you go to reaganlibrary.com/store, you scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see a featured product section, and in that featured product section are the 5 items I'm talking about today. One of the things we sell in our store, which is sort of fun, is a 100th birthday card to President Reagan. And this is the front of the card, and then it's sealed, but when you open it, it reads, "Happy birthday, age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter." I think that's a really great birthday sentiment, so we sell that in our store. Just a few moments ago, we were talking about books to read on Ronald Reagan. This is the autobiography I mentioned, An American Life. This was written by President Reagan after he left the presidency, and it's a fascinating read. He talks about his childhood, his time as an actor, as governor of California, and of course, his presidential years and some reflections post-presidency. It is a really great book. We sell this in our store. You can buy the book obviously like this. We even sign a handful of copies that are actually signed by President Reagan himself. In the age of reusable bags and bringing your own bags everywhere you go, we have this great reusable tote bag. All of the pictures on the tote bag, on both the front of the tote bag and the back of the tote bag, are pictures of the Reagan Library. So it's a really great memento of your time here. But what's really cool about it is that each tote bag comes with this small little compact zipper pouch, and the tote bag folds up and actually fits inside the bag. So you can just stick this, if you're a woman, in your purse, or a gentleman, in your car or in your glove box, and you always have it with you wherever you go for those items that you need to put in a bag. So a great gift. Of course, we can't talk about the Reagan Library and gifts about the Reagan Library without talking about our boxed Jelly Bellies. So it comes like this. It's a beautiful box. It's a great gift. And of course, if you know anything about Ronald Reagan or the Reagan Library, you watch these live froms, you know how much Ronald Reagan loved his Jelly Bellies. And in the White House, if you visited him while he was in the White House, you were often gifted a small box of Jelly Bellies. This is one of our best sellers. Great item for your desk, for your home, a gift for yourself, or a gift for a loved one. I want to say hi to, and again, I'm so sorry, my eyes are horrible. Maybe that's Hiraki. Watching from Japan. That is amazing. We are so honored that you folks from where we got Canada and Sweden and Japan are actually tuning in, as well as everyone local as well. So that is just really, really cool, and we're honored that you're taking your time to watch this with us. The last item from our store, again, reaganlibrary.com/store. I'm going to show it to you in 2 ways. I'm going to show it to you when you buy it, how it comes boxed, and then when you open up the box, it's this right here, which is super cool. I actually didn't even know our store sold this, and I think I need this. This is a 3D engraved crystal box sitting on an LED lighted base of a 3D image of Ronald Reagan. I mean, how cool is that? Don't you need this for your desk? I need this for my desk. I think I know where I'm going after this. I'm going to the store. So we want to thank you for watching. We want to thank you for tuning in. I see Marcel watching. Thank you. Ooh, Savannah would like these items from the store for her birthday. Her 21st birthday is coming up. Which one of these should I buy my daughter for her 21st birthday? Thank you all so much. Oh, I want to say Raul is watching. Thank you so much. We know you all have so many choices out there, especially on the internet right now, so many different ways to get your information or watch your entertainment, and that you all choose to watch these live froms every month really mean a lot to us. So thank you so much. We're going to wish, I like what the person said earlier, happy heavenly birthday, Mr. President. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.
Aren't they
Happy
coming
birthday.
fast enough without moving it up?
Hold the candle out. Make a wish.
You should know what I'm wishing.
It's easy enough to guess, sir. It's easy enough to guess.